DNC for the day. I just wanted to welcome you to Up Next Chicago. So a little background about this event. We were talking about we need to connect Black, Brown, Asian, all of us, diverse leaders that are merging with established leaders to support each other through the business, civic, and political leadership. Because if you look around this room, we are the future, and we need not to be divided but united. Do you hear me? Yes? Yes. And so we need more events that break down those silos and authentically connect. So today's about having fun, authentically connecting, and hearing about important issues that our communities are facing. Shannon, get up here. You're on the host committee. And so these lovely leaders behind me said yes. Thank you to Verizon and Gertie for hosting and sponsoring the event. Thank you for attending. And before I give the mic to our next speaker, Senator Duckworth, who has to leave right after because we know she's got a lot of places, there is a fun exercise because you can't come to one of our parties and not feel like there's going to be an exercise. But you got a sticky, a little dot on your lapel, on your tag. Business is red, government is blue, nonprofit is green, and the press, business, open press, is yellow. So just so you know. And your challenge and your homework before you leave here is meet someone different with a different color. Because you may be the answer to the solution that they are looking for. So we can be each other's answers, support, and solutions to our communities facing our issues and challenges. And so I invite you to meet someone with a different color, okay? Are we good with that? Awesome. So I would like to kick it over to our amazing U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth, who has been a fighter for our veterans, for our working families, for our moms, tackling all kinds of legislation in D.C. on our behalf. So without further ado, Senator Tammy Duckworth.
Thank you, Anna. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the convention week. I hope you guys are having lots of great parties and going to lots of places. All the great food that's out there, but what's good is you're walking so far that you're walking it all off anyway, so just eat away. Listen, I absolutely wanted to come here. I want to support Anna, but also this vision of supporting one another and bringing people together. In Congress, we have what's called the Tri-Caucus. It's the Black Caucus, the Asian American, which is the Congressional Asian American and Pacific Islander Caucus, and the Hispanic Caucus work together. And by coming together, we are more powerful than each of us individually. And that's what we need to do here. That is what we need to do here. We are growing generations of leaders. We have some of the first Asian American older men elected. We have some of the first Asian Americans elected to the state house, the state senate. We're growing folks in the community, but we need to be there for each other and to work with one another, because me supporting her doesn't diminish me. Me supporting her elevates me and allows me to do more, because now I have a friend in the city clerk's office. And similarly, we have to do that for one another and grow the next generation of leaders and be the mentors for the next generation of leaders. I'm not going to know as many folks in some of the other communities, so I need to know and be able to lead an organization like Up Next and say, hey, I got a great, young, dynamic person from the Black community that would be perfect for this. You know what's going to happen after Kamala wins? After the giant party we're going to have, and we all take turns saying, Madam President? Exactly. What's going to happen is I'm going to get a call from the presidential transition team and say, hey, do you have resumes you want to send us for any number of the tens of thousands of appointee positions that will be opened up? And I need to be able to call my friends and colleagues and say, who do you got? Send me a resume. Who's a young person who would be a great staff assistant secretary or a special assistant, or maybe somebody can be an undersecretary or a deputy secretary. Those positions are open, and we need to get our people into them so that they can grow the experience, go back to industry if they want to go back to industry and kick ass there, or come back and continue to march up the ranks and one day become the next president, the next senator, the next congressman, the next city clerk, the next mayor of Chicago. So we need to build that, and that is why I'm here, because I believe so strongly in this vision, and I need the help, because when I get that call from President Harris, and I will, I want that resume bank ready to go. So you guys up for this?
Yeah! All right, let's do it. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Senator Senator, I know you have to be exiting. We've got a lot of speakers kind of coming in and out, so if we can make way for the president is landing. She's going to greet President Biden. So thank you, Senator Duckworth. Up next, she needs no introduction. Karen Freeman Wilson, Madam President.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Madam Clerk, for not only that gracious introduction, but for this wonderful idea. It is not only important to understand the politics of this week, but at the end of the political process is good government, is good civic and public policy. And that's why we're here today. We want to understand what democracy really looks like. We want to understand what policies that help all people look like. And so the Chicago Urban League, with the support of our good friends from Verizon and our good friends from Gertie, were excited to partner with our clerk and all of our other partners to bring you this event. Not because day drinking is okay this week, and not because you'll probably get more calories in than noon will allow. I know I have already. But because we understand that everyone in our country deserves the right to succeed. And so that's what we're going to be talking about all this evening. We have some wonderful speakers, and that's why you don't even have to hear from me. But before I introduce our next speaker, I would be remiss if I did not introduce you to the members of our board, or at least ask them to raise their hand, because after all, they're the reason that I'm here. So all of the Urban League board members who are here in the house, thank you all for the support that you give to us every day, and we're so excited to have you here. So when somebody said, "Are you speaking?" I said, "Absolutely not," because the big boss is in town. Our National Urban League President and CEO, a visionary, someone who is going to open a phenomenal space in Harlem where democracy will be promoted every day of the week. Please welcome Mark Morial.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I love Chicago. Thank you, Karen Freeman Wilson, who's been an outstanding leader for the Chicago Urban League, one of 92 Urban League affiliates across the nation. Very quickly, a great citizen of this state in 1858 said, "A house divided cannot stand."
Well,
An America of the future must be an America where black people and Latinos and Asian and indigenous and white Americans and Americans from every gender identity, every condition, every zip code meld together for this new coalition to lead this nation.
yeah.
What's on the line in this election, what's on the line in this fight, is whether this nation will embrace its destiny as a true multiracial democracy, or will it slide into yesteryear? This gathering today represents what is happening on the ground in cities all across the nation. Chicago, you're leading the way. Bringing together young leaders from different races, creeds, neighborhoods, from every segment to find common ground. To say that what unites us is greater than what divides us.
That's right.
And to reject the rhetoric of accusatory hate, the rhetoric of finger pointing, the rhetoric of division, the rhetoric of paranoia, the rhetoric of fear, the rhetoric of orange. So I'm just here today to affirm the Urban League movement represented here in Chicago by Karen and the Chicago Urban League's commitment to this, and to thank Chicago for continuing to lead the way. And I will tell you, Chicago, I love this weather. Thank you very much.
Okay, I want to quickly allow our Verizon 30 sponsors to welcome you all, and we're going to go into a soapbox series. So each leader that I introduce will have 3 minutes on a topic that's passionate to their heart, and hopefully it'll be something that inspires you in this room to connect with that leader to continue to push that issue forward. All Verizon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Great to see you all here. My name is Stephen Shaw, and I'm the Community Engagement Director at Verizon. And at Verizon, we say that we both power and empower how people live, work, and play. And so when you think about that, how much richer can our life, what we do, working with good people, you get to do wonderful events like this. So thank you all so much for coming. And I want to hear these soapbox talks myself. So, Anna, thank you very much.
Now, you have to check out Abby Hucker-Pritzberg. She is leading the charge in arts and culture here in Chicago, and did this amazing light installation on the Green Line. Abby, thank you so much for being here and supporting.
I'm Abby, and I have a company called Gertie. We're a sort of civic cultural agency, and in advance of the convention, when we found out we were getting the convention in Chicago, we were so excited, and we knew that we had to put arts and culture at the forefront of the conversation, because artists and creatives are always the ones that are first movers in so many ways, specifically politically and towards advocacy, specifically for marginalized communities. So we created a campaign called Next Stop Chicago, which is using the Green Line to highlight all the incredible communities, mostly on the south and west side, that are doing incredible infrastructure building, economic vitality, community building work through arts and culture. And when Anna told me about this event and the fact that it's called Up Next Chicago, I was like, well, we have to be involved in some capacity. So our work is all about, similarly to what Anna was saying, bringing all different kinds of people together from different sectors, from different backgrounds, different lived experiences, to come together and celebrate the things that bring us together as opposed to the things that divide us. So I'm so honored to be a part of this, and thank you, Anna. Excited for the speakers.
Thank you, Abby. Okay, last business, because elected, I cannot forget to, I want to say for the folks in the room, we've got Mayor LeVar Stoney from Richmond, Virginia. We've got Mayor Alcott Carabell from Cincinnati, Ohio. Mayor Paige Caganetti from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Mayor Matt Turk from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Mayor Nan Whaley, Dayton, Ohio. Mayor Ron Nirenberg, San Antonio. And Mayor Justin Begg from Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, so we're shifting gears. Our first speaker is Sylvia Puente from Latino Policy Forum, President and CEO. She is Illinois' only organization for Latino public policy and advocacy. Sylvia works with other nonprofit leaders, elected officials, and corporate partners to advocate for equality, justice, and economic prosperity for Latinos. She's a public policy expert and civic community leader. Sylvia!
Thank you very much, Clerk Valencia. And I don't remember exactly the word she used, but something about next generation and younger leaders and more mature leaders. I'm going to be 66 next month, y'all. And as women, we don't like to talk about our age, but I've earned these white hair. And just so proud to think about the next generation of leaders that we're cultivating, not only at the Latino Policy Forum, but also want to let you know that we are, I think, somewhat unique. And this is our 9th year running a leadership program that brings together Black and brown community leaders. And some of them are in the room. Raise your hand. I see Kasha there. So our commitment to Black-brown solidarity is resolute. We invest our money in it, and we have trained over 300 community leaders who are on entire careers in our great, very segregated, unfortunately, city of Chicago. We're going beyond that. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Latino community and the Latino vote. And what I want to tell you is that as a Latino community, we have a lot of economic power, but we have not yet fully leveraged our voting power. And more importantly, neither the Republican or the Democratic Party has invested in us to get us to the polls. So let me tell you a little bit more about what I mean. In Illinois, the Latino community contributes $100 billion in GDP. We are responsible for all of the population growth. Believe it or not, we're responsible for all of the labor market growth. So those businesses are not going to have a quality, qualified labor force were it not for us. We're purchasing most of the new homes, and we are significant economic contributors. So Illinois' economy is doing well because the Latino community is doing well. But it's not enough. And it's especially not enough because while we have increasing economic power, we're not leveraging our voting power. We're not. We're 13% of eligible voters in Illinois, enough to change the outcome of any election. And in this state, 30,000 Latino voters turn 18 every single year. We are a young electorate with half being under 35. Yet, as I said, more don't vote than do. So we have some work to do. However, neither the Republican or the Democratic Party are doing a good enough job in reaching out to earn our vote. Recent survey data says that half of Latino voters were not contacted by either party in the 22 election. And we know that of the $150 million that was spent in the media in the last election, 1% went to Spanish language media. And while we don't all listen to Spanish language media anymore, 1% investment is not acceptable. So we have a responsibility to vote, but the candidates have a responsibility to reach out to us. So here in this room, I know we're all excited about this week in the DNC. Raise your hand if you're going to vote. Who's voting? Are you voting? Are you going to bring someone else to the polls with you? Are we going to change the trajectory of this nation and keep it on a good economic track with our new president?
Thank you, Sylvia. Up next, we have Patricia. Oh, well, you know, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to change it up. We have Michael Blake, founder and CEO of Kairos Democracy Project and former DNC Vice Chair and New York Assembly member. Michael began his political career during President Obama's campaign, was Iowa Caucus Constituency Voter Director in 2008. During his time as New York State Representative from the 79th District, he played a key role in passing significant reform to the state's criminal justice system, improving public housing, and bringing President Obama's My Brother's Keeper program to New York to support young men of color. And I guess what? Watch out for him in New York, because I don't think he's done with politics. You heard it first from me. Michael Blake!
Can we give it up for your city clerk, Anna Valencia, everybody? Come on, can we give it up for her right now? I said, can we give it up for Anna Valencia, everybody, before we keep going right now? What's going on, everybody? I said, what up, though? What's happening? I said, what up, though? I mean, they told us to come to Up Next Chicago, so I got to give you some energy. I'm from the Bronx, New York. Anybody love hip-hop in the room right now? So we are here because it is important for us to set the tone.
Yeah, you from New
I'm
York.
just saying, I'm a Jamaican. I love the camera. I'm not afraid out here. So we are here to set the tone and make it very clear that it's not just about showing up because you think Trump is bad. I'm real clear, he's terrible. I'm from New York, we've known him for a long time. It's about reminding people about why we're good. You gotta be real clear and talk to them that I am so damn proud that a black woman's about to be president. And that means that for the men in the room that you can say that I'm a man and a feminist at the same time.
It means that when you talk about democracy, that we got to stand up for our people when it comes to democracy. We cannot be afraid about what this is, because when we are united, great things happen. We tell people all the time, Dr. King said it best, in the end, we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. So don't be silent when someone is racist. Don't be silent when they are sexist. Don't be silent when they discriminate against any of us, because if they will do that to someone else, they will do that to you. We are here this week in Chicago because we have to send a message to everybody that it is our time to turn up. Now, when they hear turn up, they want to think all negative things. Turn up for all things that's good. Turn up because we got jobs and because we got housing, because we actually care about schools. Turn up because they only care about banning books when they should be banning assault weapons. Talk about what's going on right now. And when you see what's on the other side, we are here because we stood up an effort called the Kairos Democracy Project. Kairos is the other definition of time, and these opportunities to create moments. This is our moment to show what happens when black and brown and white and straight and gay all come together. This is what happens when we say we're not afraid of who we are. I am excited because this week we're going to show the nation what happens. And I come to you as someone that my mama was once homeless in Jamaica. But beloved, we went from no house in Jamaica to the black house at Northwestern to the White House in D.C. to the State House in Albany. Because when you do the work right now, you show them what happens. I am that young cat that started out here when Barack Obama trained me in 2006 and 2008, and yes, we can. Because of that, we know what is possible. So whenever you see Up Next, I want you to remember the words of the great philosopher, Fat Joe. Nothing can stop you, I'm all the way up.
Our next up soapbox is Patricia Moda, Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, CEO. Patricia initially took on the role of interim CEO in 2014 and became CEO later that year as she worked to expand leadership programming to more than 10 cities in the U.S., brought in the El Futuro High School program, and kickstarted a pilot of ASE Leadership Academy. She's an author, startup, entrepreneur, and public speaker. Patricia!
All of that. Good evening, everyone. I am super thrilled to be here. Thank you, City Clerk Valencia, for all of your work and dedication to bring our communities together. It is ever critical, more than ever before. I stand before you as a proud Latina, Mexican American, daughter of immigrants, first generation college graduate, professional, and so many other things that I am the first in my family and generation to do. The daughter of the granddaughter of a U.S. steelworker and the granddaughter of a first ever business owner, entrepreneur from Gary, Indiana. I grew up in East Chicago, Indiana, and experienced a lot of the limited access to resources and education, and moved to another community as a high school student, more affluent, but public community. And that's where I experienced what I tell a lot of people, the education gap, the resource gaps that a lot of our underserved communities experience just by nature of where we grow up. And ever since then, made it my mission to close those gaps and bring our communities together. I have the honor to serve as president and CEO for ASE, the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, whose mission since 1982 is to positively impact workplaces by cultivating the community of talent, providing the insight, access, and support to be successful in their careers as early as high school to senior level talent, and really building a strong multi-generational support network across the nation. And our tagline this year is Juntos Somos Más, meaning it takes all of our communities. Together we are more. Together we are stronger. Together we are more powerful, which is why I think this is imperative. And we all know that the stakes are greater more than ever before. We know what happened when the administration first came in place, and we're feeling the ramifications now. And I do not want to have any regrets come November that I did not do everything or anything that I could possibly do to ensure that I'm pushing the vote for Harris. So my ask for each and every one of you is that you continue to do the same. Thank you for being here. Thank you again to the City Clerk, Ana Valencia. And last plug I will say is on September 5th, we are hosting a DEI Town Hall. And you you all are each and more than welcome to join us. We have our very own Karen Freeman Wilson that's speaking. We have the CEO for Ascend Leadership, an AAPI organization, and other leaders that are joining us for that event. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening, early evening.
Thank you, Patricia. Okay, next up, we have Mayor Aptab from Cincinnati.
What's up, Democrats? Let's get loud, people. Here we go. We are at the DNC convention. Let's fucking go. My name is Aptab Purval. And your eyes do not deceive you. The mayor of Cincinnati is Asian, baby. I am Asian AF. I am half Tibetan and half Indian. Make some noise if you're Asian or South Asian. Okay, all right, a little sprinkling. That's not bad. Make some noise if you're Tibetan. The search continues. All right. I am just so honored to be here. Make some noise for Clerk Valencia. Let's give her a huge round of applause. A leader for our time. She has brought us together to highlight leaders that are up next, not just elected officials, but so many other leaders in this room. And look, clerk is a hard job. It's not the sexiest job. It's not the most glamorous job. You don't think clerk when you're going to the ballot box, but I have a personal relationship with clerk of cities, clerk of courts, because it was the first office I ran for. In 2015, my first office was the Hamilton County Clerk of Courts. In Cincinnati, I would tell people, Democrats, I want to run for this position. And they would say, what is wrong with you? You're going to run for an office no one has ever heard of or cares about against a two-term Republican incumbent who can't be beaten in conservative Hamilton County. Oh, by the way, you're a brown dude named Aptab. That is not a strong ballot name in Cincinnati. I promise. And to do all that, you have to leave your job as a lawyer. What is wrong with you? And that was just my mom. She's really hoping I make it to med school. Brown people know what I'm talking about. Sanjay Gupta, man, really screwed us. Hate that guy. Anyway, I ran and I won and became the first Democrat in 100 years to hold that position. So make some noise for clerks. Look, we are here to talk about one issue. I'm going to choose one issue that every single mayor cares about, and that is housing. We need more housing in this country. It is way too expensive to rent or to own, particularly for black and brown communities, and it is not by accident, it is by design. Our zoning and land use rules and laws for the past several generations have done two things. It's happened in Chicago, it's happened in my town of Cincinnati. It has led to incredible segregation and incredible concentrations of poverty. When we talk about systemic racism, we are talking about zoning laws and land use laws. Look, I know it's not sexy or exciting, but this is what matters. Changing these bureaucratic, boring laws to make sure that we're legalizing housing, to make sure that we're empowering people to be able to afford to buy a home, whether that's single family or condo or row home, to start creating black and brown generational wealth. If you care about those things, then I ask you to advocate for your local elected officials to update their zoning code, to prioritize public transportation, to make sure that we're investing in our black and brown local neighborhood business districts, to create the city that us young people all want to live in. A dense, diverse, walkable city with public art and great public transportation. The generation of old that cares only about their cars and parking right in front of where they're trying to go, that is the past. And as Vice President Harris told us, we are not going back. Let's go, people!
Thank you, Mayor. All right, our next speaker is Shannon Parker from Brave Space Alliance, the CEO. Brave Space Alliance is a Black-led, trans-led, and LGBTQ+ center on Chicago's South Side, the only one on Chicago's South Side. Under Shannon's leadership, they've brought in new partnerships such as creating an in-house clinic so people can visit essential needs with the University of Chicago Medicine. She's a human rights advocate, public speaker, and community leader. Shannon Parker!
So, you know, when I was a kid, my mother used to always say, Shannon, get off of your soapbox. See, it paid off. No, not my soapbox. Hello everybody, I'm Shannon Lynn Parker. As Anna said, I am the CEO of Race-Based Alliance. Above all, I am a proud Black member of the LGBTQ community. I am a Southsider and I'm a lifelong Democrat. So, look around this room and we've individually and collectively come a mighty long way. We are the forebearers of those whose blood, sweat, and tears watered the soil that we're standing on today, who fought valiantly for the right to be whole. And if you listen closely to our ancestors, whether by blood or affinity, you'll hear them say, do not go back. So I come from humble beginnings. And I'm so proud of being the leader and the CEO that I am today. But today I really want to talk to you about something that's so vital, and that is funding to maintain essential services provided for LGBTQ plus nonprofits like Race-Based Alliance. Every day we are on the forefront lines providing vital services from food pantries to mental health services, from housing support to advocacy for gender-affirming care. But the truth is, we are in a resource drought. Despite some increases in overall LGBTQ plus funding nationwide, the Midwest remains the most underfunded region in the country. Chicago's LGBTQ plus nonprofits collectively receive around $8 million to $10 million annually. A number that may seem significant on the front end, but when dispersed across many organizations serving our community, that is woefully short of what we need. Without organizations like Race-Based Alliance, lives are on the line. We provide programs that are not luxuries, they are lifelines, yet we face increasingly challenges as the landscape becomes more hostile. Justice for LGBTQ folks isn't just about us, because the fact is that my liberation is tied into your liberation. My medical access is tied into your connection to medical access. My bodily autonomy is tied into your link to bodily autonomy. And as we fight for these rights, we must be vigilant. If democracy wins, and I'm going to say if democracy wins, and it must win in this election, it's not time for us to fall asleep. Winning a battle is not the same as winning a war. The opposition will remain actively against us, even in the face of loss, trying to regain their footing and keep a foothold on us all. So while we work tirelessly on the ground, we have to remember the ballot box. We have to remember to vote. We have to remember the tools that keep us all free and safe. So we won't go back. We move together boldly in alliance with one another and bravely. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to close out the last two. We've got Mayor Paige Caganetti, who's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Anyone remember Scranton, Pennsylvania? Gerald Martin.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Yes, so I am the mayor, but my day job, of course, is the assistant to the regional manager, Mifflin. Ladies, how many of you are wearing sneakers? And how many of you are feeling so good and so liberated? This is the first time I've ever packed for a trip and not worn heels. There isn't a heel in my suitcase. I am so happy. I'm so happy that Kamala Harris is our nominee for so many reasons. But one of the top ones is because I am wearing sneakers this whole week and I'm feeling good about it. This is so Scranton is the hometown of Joe Biden. It's been a tough summer, right? It's really hard to see your hometown guy, go through what he went through. But the excitement that we have in Scranton for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz is even more special because our President Joe Biden is the one who has the torch. So I already have shivers. I know there's going to be a lot of emotion tonight for me, for Pennsylvania, for our whole country, to give the president that hero's welcome he deserves. But I'm here to tell you from Scranton that we are so proud of him and we are so excited for him to pass that torch to Kamala Harris. And as mayor, as the first female mayor of Scranton, Pennsylvania, as girl mayor, which is what a lot of the kids call me, the girl mayor, for Joe Biden to be a son of Scranton, to pass the torch to our first girl president, this is the most amazing week that we can can have. We've got so much work to do. We're so excited to be here in Chicago, and any of you who want to come to Pennsylvania, come to Scranton, come anywhere in Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin to knock doors, please do that. In 2008, I was on the campaign with Mr. Blake here. We brought 36,000 volunteers into Pennsylvania for Barack Obama. I'm trying to top that number. So anybody who wants to come to any of those swing states, make sure you get that hotel room, get that couch to sleep on. We need you knocking on those doors. We need you to get that shoe leather going in those sneakers so we can make sure that Kamala Harris is our first girl president and our Madam President.
All right, stay with me. Our last soapbox is Mayor Nuremberg from San Antonio.
Good afternoon, Chicago. Come on, you gave APTAB a little love. How about San Antonio, Texas? First of all, let's just give it up one more time for Ana Valencia, an incredible city clerk. He's assembled a great coalition here. My name is Ron Nuremberg. I'm the mayor of San Antonio, Texas, the largest Latino majority city in the country. And I am the first Asian American mayor in that city. It's not bad. I want to tell you, it's a great honor to be here in Chicago. This is a city that we look up to in many ways. But I want to pick up a little bit where Mayor APTAB put down. The most urgent issue, probably for every city in the country, is the availability of affordable housing. And I'm not talking about subsidized housing, I'm just talking about housing that people can afford. What they don't tell you in that, though, is that we're not going to meet the need. We're not going to address the urgency of the housing crisis in America simply by building our way out of it. The other untold part of this story is that people's wages haven't kept pace with the rising costs. So unless we're all willing to live in subsidized housing, we got to start raising wages in this country. We believe in the American dream in San Antonio, Texas. So let me tell you about a program we call San Antonio Ready to Work. We recognize that in San Antonio, just like every other city in the country, unless you have more than a high school diploma, you are going to be living under the poverty line. That's just the fact. If you want it better than a poverty wage in today's economy, you need more than a high school diploma. And too often we're talking about, we have our Promise program, we have our work that we're doing in K through 12, we have a pre-K program in San Antonio, but we have lost a generation of families, a generation of parents who are raising children, having to work 2 or 3 jobs at a time just to make ends meet. We saw that through the pandemic, when literally overnight, one event put thousands of people in our food bank line. In San Antonio, we decided we're going to change that forever. So we developed a program which is going to retrain and upskill 20,000 San Antonians over the next 8 years. What that means is that the average participant in San Antonio's Ready to Work program is a woman of color raising children in a household making less than $15,000 a year. That's the average participant. You can imagine the challenges that that family faces. And not only that, but the challenges that those children raised in those homes will face. Statistically more likely to drop out of school, less likely to have their own career trajectories. Now, when they go through the Ready to Work program, which provides child care, financial assistance, and also directs them through a training program to get a good job with a good wage, now thousands of San Antonians, on average, are making $44,000 a year. That's single household earner. That's a life of independency pulled out of a life of dependency. And now those children are more likely to finish their school, to go get a good job. And that's going to change generations of San Antonians going forward. So I ask you, if we want to change the course of our country and make sure that the American dream is alive and well in our communities, let's work on housing, but let's not also forget that we need to have good education and good jobs, and we need to demand that employers pay good wages. God bless y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, we're going to bring up our co-host, Ariel from BLC, and Artie Kotek from Ariel Investments to close us out. Reminder, there is a drink ticket on the back of your badge, and you can get stickers for your badge to meet other people in the room at the front desk. Thank you so much.
She just told you the most important thing about the drink tickets, and that's what we followed on. I'm going to hand this over to Ariel in just a second to close this out. What I want to leave you with is the hope that I have
work of equity, as we're trying to bend the arc towards justice, this work can get lonely. And particularly for people of color, if you have been told to go back to where you came from, if you have been denied your history as American history, if you have had moments where you have felt alone and that no one else cares, no one else can know what you know, no one else can know what you feel, we do hope for you that when you came here, when you saw that this room is crowded, that you have remembered that you can show up here, be acknowledged, be welcomed, and come whole. And so for that, we're so grateful for your time, we're so grateful for your energy, and most of all, we're grateful for you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Well, I am here to give the benediction and send you saints home. My name is Ariel Johnson, and I have the black job of being the CEO of Business Leadership Council here in Chicago. I've also been tasked with the job of letting you fine saints know that we are going home at 4 o'clock. So it is also going to be last call in about 30 minutes, so act accordingly. At Business Leadership Council, we are focused on building the black business ecosystem. And it is not lost upon us that we cannot build any ecosystem in a silo. And so we are always excited to collaborate with our friends at HICEA, at the Illinois Hispanic Chamber, at the Asian Chamber, to ensure that there is access to procurement opportunities, that whenever there's anything coming to the city of Chicago, like this amazing convention, that we are participating, because our businesses are the lifeline of the economy of our country. And so we're very excited to continue to collaborate. And so I'm going to do my job and going to close this out. Look at your neighbor and say, are you ready to lead? Look at your other neighbor and say, are you